Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News starts now.
New developments in the passenger jet crash in the Middle East that killed more than 170 people. Officials now saying Iran is responsible and the U.S. and Boeing are investigating.
Plus, a Good Samaritan crashes into a suspect's car in an attempt to save a woman's life. We're going to take a deeper look into what precautions you should take before you help out someone in danger.
Good morning and thanks for staying with 23 ABC News at 6 a.m. I'm Danielle Kernkamp.
I'm Mike Hart. Glad you're here. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk. See how this Friday's shaping up.
We're clearing out. We're cold, but we're dry, which is nice. Yesterday I mentioned that we wouldn't have a lot of snow out of that system, but it would lead to icy roads.
Right.
And that has led to school delays this morning. So a 2-hour snow and ice delay posted about 4 a.m. for the Peak to Peak Mountain Charter School. And then about 10 minutes ago, El Tejon said, you know what, too slick for us too. So they're also on a 2-hour snow and ice delay this morning. As they're waking up at this hour, you can see how we have cleared out. There are still systems passing on shore to our north. We have a lot of action down into the southern states today, but here at home, mostly sunny and seasonal. That means only the 20s to start your day, and hence the icy conditions there in those South Mountains. Tehachapi just above freezing, but your higher elevations are slick as well with some black ice on those roadways. Close to or below freezing for many desert spots. 36 in Delano. Here in Bakersfield, 44 now, but then 56 later today. 50s also stretching for your highs in the Kern River Valley and Kern Desert this afternoon. Take a look ahead to the rest of your weekend coming up, but I wanted to show you that passes are open. That little spot of blue there near Pine Mountain Club, that's where we have the most icy development this morning. The swaths of gray, that's clouds acting like low fog.
An update to breaking news we had earlier this morning. MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida was briefly put on lockdown earlier this morning after a report of an armed suspect outside of the base. Well, a big spokesman has now said that officials are still looking for that suspect, but they do confirm that this was not an active shooter situation. Right now, gates to access the base have reopened.
And coming in overnight concerning that passenger jet that U.S. officials say was shot down over Iran. Iran has now invited the U.S. and Boeing to join the investigation after video appeared to show the plane being shot down by missiles.
Overnight vigils were held in Canada for the 63 Canadians on board that flight as investigators from around the globe begin traveling there to search for evidence. ABC's Kenneth Moten has more.
This morning, Iran now inviting the United States to join the investigation into what brought down that passenger jet outside Tehran. This appears to be the moment the 737 was hit by a missile. The video recorded in the neighborhood of the last tracked position of the Ukrainian jetliner. A missile can be seen heading upwards right before impact, the sound following seconds later. The crippled plane in this video posted by a resident outside Tehran shows the aircraft apparently on fire, breaking apart and crashing 3 miles away. The impact also captured by CCTV video, which is airing on Iranian media. You can see the debris streaking past the camera. The videos reinforcing Western intelligence that says Iran's anti-aircraft systems hit the plane.
The evidence indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile.
Somebody could have made a mistake. Some people say it was mechanical. I personally don't think that's even a question, personally.
176 people were killed. Overnight, Iranian officials inviting the Canadian and United States National Transportation Safety Board, along with Boeing, to help in the investigation as the country continues to deny shooting down the jet, calling it scientifically impossible. But look, this was the scene hours after the crash Wednesday. And this is video from Thursday morning. The crash scene cleared by the Iranian government of wreckage and potential evidence. But investigators did recover the black box, which could help piece together the truth. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
There are still many unanswered questions in the murder of a Tehachapi woman and her son who was killed by an officer-involved shooting near the Nevada border. Officials have still not released any information about a possible motive. Investigators say this all began Wednesday afternoon when sheriff deputies found 55-year-old Guadalupe Adams dead from traumatic injuries at her home in the Golden Hills area near Tehachapi. State officials confirming to 23 that she was an employee at Tehachapi State Prison. The suspect in her murder identified as her son, 27-year-old Madison Adams. The CHP say its officers spotted him on the northbound Interstate 15 near Primm, Nevada, just before 5 o'clock. Officials say during the traffic stop, an officer fired their weapon, killing Adams. Now, there are no other details at this time. We're still awaiting the coroner's report concerning the cause of death for Guadalupe Adams.
The retrial continues today for Michaele Bowers, the woman accused of killing Jay's Place chef Ray Ingram in 2017. Opening statements began yesterday. The first trial last year ended in a hung jury. Bowers is accused of shooting Ingram to death. Court documents show that Bowers and Ingram had a child together, and Bowers found out Ingram had been seeing another woman. Documents also show that he had a child with the other woman as well. The morning of the killing, police said that Bowers texted Ingram a picture of a receipt showing he had purchased 2 sets of Valentine's gifts, essentially the same gift for each woman.
There are new details now surrounding a kidnapping from last month. 23 ABC obtaining new court documents that detail how, after hearing a woman's cry for help, a concerned citizen sped after the car in which the woman was being held against her will and rammed it with his own car.
But what are you allowed to do when you see someone in need of help? 23 ABC's Josh Sanders has more.
Get out! Get out, babe!
This is the moment police say 21-year-old Fabian Preto allegedly kidnapped a woman he'd known for several months before they say a Good Samaritan stepped in to help.
They saw something that they believed was an ongoing assault or kidnapping or whatever they perceived the situation to be. They were trying to investigate this to further. The suspect's actions at that point, pointing a firearm, led that person to believe that they had to protect themselves, and they took actions that they felt were appropriate.
According to court documents, the Good Samaritan told detectives Preto stopped, got out, and pointed a gun at him after the Samaritan ran into the back of Preto's car. That's when the concerned citizen hit Preto with his truck, and after Preto began standing up with the gun still in his hand, the Good Samaritan hit him a second time.
You're looking to potentially do the right thing. You want to help this person, but there is some level of, your response has to be proportionate.
BPD says every situation is different when it comes time for a Good Samaritan to decide whether or not to step into a dangerous situation, and that when making the decision, it has to be reasonable under the circumstances. They say standards play a role in deciding how far to go, and what applies to a sworn officer may not apply to a bystander.
What their experience tells them, every person might have a different, unique experience with a variety of different areas.
In California, there are no laws stating that a person is responsible for saving someone's life in a dangerous situation. And California's Good Samaritan law states that a person is not liable for any civil damages when providing emergency medical or non-medical care at the scene of an emergency. In the end, BPD says if you decide to step in, do so knowing your limits.
We don't want to advocate, hey, you see people fighting, you go be the one to interject in this. Some people may not be right for that situation. We want them to do it. Maybe the best thing they can do is report it to police. Maybe the best thing they can do is get somebody to get help. So we want people to act within what they're comfortable doing.
In Bakersfield, Josh Sanders, 23 ABC, connecting you.
And as of now, Fabian Prieto remains in custody on a $250,000 bond. He's set to be in court the morning of January 28th.
With the new year brings new laws and one that covers renters' rights. The Greater Bakersfield Legal Assistance is hosting 2 free workshops tomorrow to explain this new legislation that protects renters from illegal evictions and make sure the tenants know the new rent hike restrictions. Legal advocates and attorneys will also answer questions during 2 sessions tomorrow, the first at 10 a.m., the second at 3 p.m. It will take place at the GBLA offices located at 615 California Avenue.
Today, Clinica Sierra Vista is unveiling a new design that they hope will change the way that you look at traditional clinics.
23 ABC's Daniela Garrido joining us in studio with a preview of this new design. Daniela?
Clinica Sierra Vista, which works as a nonprofit clinic, plans to open a new location in the spring of next year across from Adventist Health in downtown Bakersfield. But with their new design, they hope to change the average patient experience.
We've never done something like this before.
Typically, the process for a doctor's appointment involves a lot of waiting. Clinica Sierra Vista's newest location wants to change that patient experience.
When you go to see the physician, you're put in this waiting room and you're sort of sitting there and it feels like detention, right? You sit there, you be quiet and you wait. What if we could change that into recess, right? Because you have people and you have time, and people and time are resources that we are wasting every single day. So what if we provided an environment where people could do things that were useful to them?
The clinic brought patients, executives, and community members to brainstorm the ideal patient experience and build a 3-dimensional model of it.
I wanted something that was flexible, that was modular, to become sort of the blueprint for the clinic of the future. So this isn't us building one clinic. This is us building an ideal clinic that could provide care into the future and grow with us and scale with us, so that we would put this concept in everything that we do.
The new clinic will include a self-check-in, a cafe, and local resource counselors, but it will focus on on women and children's care, with more than 30 physicians on site, including nutritionists, mental health counselors, and dentists.
So gone are the days of like, if restaurants can get rid of waiting rooms, why can't clinics? So the idea would be you would check in, we'd be notified that you were here, and then when your room was ready, you'd be notified.
Dr. Karen Tamala will be one of the women's health physicians at the new location, and she says an integrated clinic will be beneficial to the new patients.
And instead of moving the patient from place to place within the building to these different service areas, rather having those service areas come to the patient, really keeping the patient at the centerpiece of our focus.
She says the new design will bring privacy and comfort.
So we actually have a two-door system where the patient will enter through the patient side door, and the physician will enter from the offstage area. So in the offstage area, I have my whole team there.
To see a three-dimensional look at the new design, you can go to the clinic's prototype unveiling today at 10 a.m. at 2400 Weibel Road. For more information, visit our website, turnto23.com. Live in studio, Daniela Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
You can make it a date night tonight for a movie and a live performance at the Fox Theater in downtown Bakersfield. The Fox will be showing a documentary film of the legendary opera singer Luciano Pavarotti. But first, Bakersfield College Men's Chorus will perform ahead of the film's showing. Tickets are only $6 at the box office. The performance starts at 7 and the documentary follows at 7:30. And if you want something for the whole family to be a part of, hop on your bike and go for a ride under the first full moon of the decade. The full moon bike ride starts at 7 this evening at Beach Park. It follows the Kern River Parkway Trail west from Beach Park, turns south at CSUB, and then continues on the bike path through the campus and ends at the marketplace. Event goers are strongly recommended to wear a helmet and a front-facing headlamp.
And Alta Sierra is bringing in the weekend, welcoming in with some new snow. According to their Facebook page, the picture was posted with the caption, "Fresh Snow Baby." Ticket office opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. The lifts run from 9 until 4. There you go.
You said it wrong, Mike.
Fresh Snow Baby? No, is that right?
Fresh Snow Baby!
Yeah.
You're so excited.
Oh, Fresh Snow Baby!
Thank you.
There you go. Is
That was
better?
good.